Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Lose, Live, Learn. I am so happy because it is October, which means it is my favorite time of year. Beyond pumpkin spice everything, I love the fact that the leaves are turning, that you can look out the window and it's super bright and sunny outside, but you know that you need to wear a sweater. I love cozy weather, so I'm really happy that we're finally into the autumn. And I love this time of year for so many reasons. Beyond pumpkin spice and it being chilly, me being able to wear my sweaters, I also love this time of year for the opportunity it brings. I really feel like it is a new season, but it feels like a new season in my life as well every year. So around September time, I still, even now, I get really that kind of back to school itch and vibe, right? So I haven't been in school for a really long time, and it may just be my love of stationery, but I really do get that back to school vibe. I feel like it's a new season, new opportunity. And the last couple of years, I've got really strategic at using this time of year to actually evaluate and set new goals. I don't wait till January to set goals because I would rather just continually be building momentum. And honestly, I think when we wait for January, it can be very overwhelming. You've just celebrated, you know, what tends to be like a 4 to 6 week period of like festivities. And, you know, you kind of just want to take a big nap after Christmas, right? So for me, I do it now. I get ahead of the game. And one of the things this allows me to do is keep building momentum even through a really tough season of my life. So around October, November time, I do get very emotional, I guess. It's always been very difficult. Well, for the last decade, it's been a very difficult time of year for me. I lost my father in November of 2003. And so it always gives me that time of year. I kind of feel very reflective. I can get very emotional and sometimes it's very subconscious. And I decided a couple of years ago to really use that to my advantage. So to really be aware of it, to really spend that time journaling, but also start new projects, start things that I can get really excited about. Not to try and take my mind off, but to really just keep me busy and not kind of sit in my grief, but actually move forward. So last year I did a whole blog on setting goals that you actually give a shit about, and I want to do a video for you today all about how to set goals for yourself for the next 90 days. So we have around about 90 days left of 2017, which is a little bit scary, but really exciting. And really these tips I'm going to give you today, they're ongoing. It doesn't just finish come January 1st. These are things that you can be doing every day, every week, every month, every year, right? They can just be on repeat. And I'm sure as we move forward, I will always learn new ways to set these goals and I will be able to feed that back to you. But for right now, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can set goals that you really give a crap about and how you can do it without kind of causing yourself to feel really overwhelmed.
Watching Lose, Live, Learn, the show which brings you real life strategies to help you live your healthiest life, free from guilt, shame and dieting. I'm your host, Melanie Knights.
So my first tip is that whatever your goal is, you need to reverse engineer it. Okay, so say we're going to talk about it in relation to fat loss, but let's say your goal is to lose 50 pounds. Maybe your doctor has told you that you need to lose that weight. It's affecting your lifestyle, and perhaps you know that it's affecting the way you live your life. Maybe you feel limited, you feel that you cannot walk the stairs without getting really breathless. You really feel like it's limiting your lifestyle and you want to improve that. So saying you want to lose 50 pounds is an open-ended goal, right? So you stick a date on it because we're all told we have to have SMART goals. So we stick a date on it. There we go. Now it's specific, don't we? We're like, oh, I'm going to do it in 6 months. I'm going to do it in a year. Very few people will say, I'm going to lose this weight, and it takes them longer than a year. Most people will try to put at least a 12-month timestamp on it. Now, I'm going to be really honest, it might take longer than a year. Does that matter? Not really, right? And honestly, if you want to do it and you're going to, or if you need to do it and you're going to do it, then it doesn't matter whether it takes longer than a year, because the most important part of this is the process, is actually learning and adjusting. So what I tend to do with my clients is like, okay, this is your long-term goal. This is the thing that you really want to achieve in the long term, but we need to reverse engineer it. So what I tend to do is ask my clients to change the way they think about their goal. So one of the things most women will do, is we're like, once I lose the weight, I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. Or we envision like what we'll be able to do or what that person looks like when they've lost the weight, right? Don't we? But what we actually need to do is start behaving and acting and treating ourselves and our body in the way we would when we've lost 50 pounds, okay? So what I mean by this is, instead of saying to yourself, once I lose weight, I'm gonna start eating healthy. That doesn't really work. Or I can't go to the gym because I need to lose weight first. No, somebody who has lost 50 pounds, right? So imagine that, or whatever the weight is for you. But somebody who has lost that weight, they have to work out. They have to move. They have to do exercise. Now, they're not working out as a crutch for their diet. They're not working out to burn calories, but you have to move. You have to do things that are going to get you moving, get you feeling more energetic. They're going to help you sleep. It's going to help you have more energy throughout the day. I know that sometimes sounds really counterproductive, but it's true. So actually moving your body is going to give you more energy. It's going to allow you to feel better. When we feel really lethargic and sluggish, that's because we're not doing anything. So one of the things you have to do is start moving. So you can't say, well, you can say, but it's not going to benefit you. You know, sitting around saying, well, I'm going to lose weight and then I'm going to join the gym, or I'm going to lose weight and then I'm going to do that. That may be a confidence issue, but in all honesty, some of the biggest changes and transformations I've seen with clients is when they just like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. And so, you know, joining a gym, if that's what you want to do, or joining an exercise class, or just walking, because honestly, walking is a massive tool and support for fat loss. So getting out there, doing some kind of movement, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever feels good for you and your body, getting out and doing that, that's the kind of stuff that's actually going to get you to where you want to be. So instead of saying, I'm going to be able to do X, Y, and Z once I get here, start thinking about what that person looks like. Really, you know, grab a notebook, grab a pen, or just kind of take some time to really think about it. Like, what would it feel like to, when I reach my goal? What does that person do? And this honestly works across the board, whether your goal is fat loss, whether it's to build a business, maybe it's to apply for a promotion, maybe you feel like you're just lacking confidence to do any of those things, any number of things. Honestly, if you can reverse engineer it and take that goal. So for me, for example, I wanted to build a successful business. So I couldn't like wait to start building a business once I had clients. I had to go out there and start finding clients. I had to go out there and start, you know, working with women and asking them the questions and putting myself out there and, you know, helping and creating and writing and recording. You know, I couldn't start when I was there. Does that make sense? You can't start something once you already reached the goal. That's never going to happen, which is why most people struggle. What we need to do is start doing, and we will then get to where we want to be. So that's my number one tip, right? So reverse engineer your big goal and start doing the things that are going to get you there now, rather than waiting until you finally arrive. The second thing that I think we all need to start doing when it comes to our goals is we actually need to give a crap about them, right? I know that sounds really, really obvious, but we set goals all the time that really hold no substance. We set goals all the time where it's just like, I'm just gonna say this is what I'm gonna do, but I don't really give a crap about it, right? So how do you create substance around your goals? How do you create goals that you actually care about? Well, the first thing is you need to set a goal is not just about your body. You need to set a goal that has really positive language around it, rather than I'm gonna lose 50 pounds by Christmas. So what? Who cares, right? Do you even care? Probably not. But if you can say things and you can really, if you can say positive words and you can use positive language around your goals, and you can do things that are actually going to get you to where you want to be, right? Tagging on to the first tip, then you're going to be more successful. You're going to get to wherever you want to be, wherever your goal is. So one of the things that I do with my clients is ask them to use words like I am committed to, or I am willing to, I am able to, because when you say I am committed to eating an extra serving of vegetables each day, I am willing to work out, I am willing to do 3 exercise classes a week, whatever it might be, right? Whenever we use positive language, the words we use become our thoughts, and those thoughts become our beliefs. So when we start to talk in a positive way, and you know what, you may have to just say it out loud, right? In the car, saying it to yourself, in the shower, just on repeat. But the more you say things to yourself in a positive way, the more you start to think in a positive way, and you will start to believe those things. It works exactly the same way with negative language. So when you repeat to yourself, I am fat, you'll believe that you're fat. right? You'll believe it. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not, you will believe it because you thought it enough and you said it enough to yourself that you will start to believe it. So if you can turn your negative language into positive language and use words like I am committed to, I am willing to, I am capable, I am going to, things that really allow you to set, they're almost like affirmations, right? They allow you to set a tone for not only your goal, but potentially like your week or your month or even your day, right? So you could write it down in a journal each morning, or you could just say it to yourself in the shower, or, you know, when you're making your coffee or on your drive to work. I am capable of X, Y, or Z, right? And again, this works across the board. So if your goal is not fat loss, this still works for you. Whatever your goal is, right? If it's to run a marathon, how do you run a marathon? Well, you start running and you start training, but then you need to start using language like I am capable of running 5K today. I am willing to run, I don't know what a marathon runner would have to run a week, but you're willing to, right? So when you use positive language, it becomes something you care about, and it becomes less of this like negative, oh, I don't really care about this goal, I'm going to do something else instead, right? We don't get distracted. Now, the third thing that we all need to be doing when we're setting goals is we need to slow the fuck down, and we need to take that long-term goal and look at it in a smaller way. Right? You hear about, oh, look at the bigger picture. Yeah, this is all well and good, but sometimes that bigger picture can be really overwhelming. And I know whenever I set goals where I was like, I'm going to lose X amount, when I'm going to lose X amount of weight, it would just feel really overwhelming, and I'd want to take a big nap before I even started. So one of the things you can do is you can actually decide what you're going to do for the rest of the year, right? I'm recording this, it's about 90 days left of 2017 and 3 months left. You could get really good at one thing, right? One thing. And I have been talking about this with my email list. I've been talking about it in my Facebook group, and it's really interesting because even when I say you're going to choose one thing, people will come up with 2 or 3 things. We really struggle to admit to doing only one thing, to commit to only doing one thing. We feel like we should be doing multiple things at once, but honestly, that's where it gets really overwhelming. When you try to overhaul your entire diet, or you try to go from 0 exercise to 7 days a week, that isn't going to last. You're going to really struggle to do that because you're not used to it. You haven't practiced, you haven't made progress. So if we can get committed to one thing for the rest of 2017, that is where we're going to flourish. That's where we're going to thrive. We're going to feel really empowered. We're going to get really good at it. And you know what happens when you do one thing for that period of time? You are going to get to the end of December and you're going to go, damn, I did it. You're going to feel really accomplished. You're going to have, really dialed in on that one thing, and that one thing is going to feel effortless. And you know what happens? You can now choose something else, right? And it will become habitual. You'll find things that work for you, you'll find things that don't work for you. You will be able to improve and evaluate. It's not going to feel super confusing or overwhelming. So one of the things that I have been talking about with my email list is actually dialing in on your nutrition for the rest of this year. We're coming up to the holidays, right? There is already Christmas, like food and treats and the fun stuff all in the supermarkets. And honestly, I know that for me, it's always been, until a couple of years ago, it was really difficult because I would be like, I want it all. I would live in the scarcity mindset, thinking that there wasn't another opportunity for me to have that food, when in reality, it comes out every year. And now I'm like, it'll be there again next year. I don't feel deprived. I make a choice. If I want it, I'll have it. But one of the things we can do that's really important, especially over the coming months with the, colder weather, the darker weather, we tend to turn to comfort food, and we tend to turn to, staying at home versus going to the workouts and things like that. I get that. We do it. So what we can do is improve our nutrition over the next 3 months. Now, I've been talking to my email list and in my Facebook group all about what we can do nutritionally to really improve that for the next 3 months. And I have one specific tool, which I firmly believe transforms the way we feel about food, but also transforms our hunger and our cravings. It really, really can help your fat loss without feeling overwhelming. And doesn't that sound like amazing? Because honestly, who wants to be counting calories and be super restrictive at any time of year? Nobody. I certainly don't. I hate it. I hate counting calories. So one of the things we can do is eating more protein, right? Eating more protein over the next 3 months and just really dialing in on that. And that's not going from like 0 protein to all protein, and it doesn't mean you're cutting out anything else, right? That's really, really important. All I'm saying is eat more protein. I'm not saying you're not going to eat carbs. I'm not saying you're not going to eat fat. I'm not saying you're going to stop eating anything else. All I'm saying is that we should be eating more protein. Now, oftentimes I get bombarded with, yes, but it's just for men or it's for bodybuilders. It really isn't. Everybody should be eating a certain amount of protein per day if they're looking to lose fat. Now, here's the deal. If you're not, then it doesn't really matter, does it? But if you're looking to lose fat, if you're looking to, if you're working out, you're maybe lifting weights, you really want to be eating to support those lifestyle habits. So one of the things you can do is eat more protein. Now, of course, biggest question I get asked is, but how much, right? How much protein? I'm not really sure what protein is. I'm not really sure how to do this. I want to do it. It sounds like it could work, but what should I do? So I have just put together a 4-week program. It's called Project Protein, and it is a beta test. We're going to basically test one nutritional strategy. No surprise, eat more protein. And I'm going to be starting this on Monday, 16th of October for 4 weeks. I'm taking only 10 women onto the beta test with me, and we're going to be in a private Facebook group coaching every single day. So you are going to have access to me as your coach every single day. Every question will be answered. I will be sharing with you tips and strategies. I'm going to be coming live with you once a week. So I'm going to be talking about protein or about nutrition. I'm going to be giving you little tips and strategies on how you can really dial in on that. You're going to get a kind of a framework. So you're going to have a packet when you sign up, and that packet is going to give you a tracker so you can stay accountable over the 4 weeks. It's going to help you how to calculate how much protein you should be having, because that is super confusing, right? How much protein should I have? I'm going to be giving you a calculation tool so you can actually figure that out and just hit the ground running. You're going to be doing feedback with me, check-ins by email every week. Right? So every single week for 4 weeks, we are going to be checking in. We're going to be in the Facebook group. We're going to be having so much fun whilst dialing in on this one nutritional strategy. Now, I do this with every single client. This is exactly where I first started 5 years ago. And this is where every single one of my clients has to work through. We have to work on improving our nutrition, and we need to work on adding more protein into our diet. And what happens with my clients is they do this, they stay full, and they reduce their cravings, right? So staying full and reducing cravings, what does that mean, right? It doesn't really sound very exciting, but what it actually means is you are going to create a caloric deficit without counting calories. So no more calorie tracking, no more having to track how many calories in this, how many calories are in that. Eating more protein will keep you more full. You will be less inclined to eat foods that don't keep you feeling full, foods that you feel really sluggish or bloated after eating. It's going to improve your nutrition, it's going to improve your relationship with food, and you're going to see results. Now, I tested this myself for the month of September because I was like, heck, I need to test it first, right? And I had actually noticed I was having I just started working with a new business coach. I was getting ready to fly by myself at the end of September. And there's a lot of emotion going on for me. And I noticed that cravings were kicking my butt. Like, they were winning every day. And I was like, where is this coming from? What is happening? And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to track my protein. And I tracked my protein, and I make protein a priority. That's a lot of words. I make protein a priority. But when I looked, I really wasn't eating enough. So I did it for 1 month, and the first couple of days, within 48 hours, I suddenly noticed I wasn't craving. Now, I still had a couple of pieces of dark chocolate because I enjoy it, but I wasn't craving. I wasn't searching the cupboards for something, like anything, what can I have, and then getting frustrated with myself because why am I doing this, right? We all felt that way. So I can assure you this strategy works, this framework works, but I want 10 women to join me for 4 weeks. And I really want your feedback on, how you feel about the strategy, how you feel about the framework. Now, this is not for every person. I am looking for somebody who is a go-getter, someone who is ready to just get started, who is excited about following this framework, right? I want someone who is excited, ready to get going, ready to put in the work, understands that they're only going to get out of stuff what they put into it. I'm not looking for someone who is like, oh, but, you know, I have this party or I have this event. Like, I'm not telling you that you can't do other things. I'm not telling you that your life has to change. I'm asking you to follow the framework for just 4 weeks. Now, obviously, what I would love for you to do is continue using the framework beyond the 4 weeks, but that is entirely your choice. You will continue seeing results if you continue putting in that work, and you will have all these tools at your disposal once you join Project Protein. So Project Protein starts next Monday, 16th of October. So you only have 1 week. If you're watching this video in real time, you only have 1 week to sign up, and you will get a welcome packet as soon as you sign up from me. It's going to have all those calculations, the toolkits, and everything you need to get started. And you'll be able to come over to the Facebook group and start like saying hello and connecting with all the other ladies. So you've got 7 days. I'm going to pop the link just in the video just below. So wherever you're watching, you'll be able to click the link and sign up and grab your place for Project Protein. So Project Protein will not be offered again. This is the only time I'm going to be offering this 4-week program. And so I'm offering it at a low price of £49. So you can sign up today for just £49. You're going to get 4 weeks of coaching with me. You're going to meet like-minded women. But as I said, I am definitely looking for somebody who is committed to 4 weeks, ready to get started, and willing to put in the effort to see those results they want. So if that is you, if you are a go-getter who is ready to get started straight away, make sure you sign up today. So thank you so much for joining me for this week's video. I really hope you are going to join me in setting some goals that you really give a shit about over the next few weeks. I have already started to think about what I want to achieve, not just in the final 3 months of this year, but what I want to achieve next year. And I will be sharing all of my goals with you. But for now, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all next week.